Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this, our February 5th, 2024 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including some reactions to Milly Alcock being cast as Supergirl for the DC Studios new slate of films. We've got some Superman Legacy news. We also have some Saturn Awards winners. And we've got plenty to talk about on the comic book side of things. We also got our fan favorite segment, plenty of entries this week from our question from last week. We have so much to get through. I'm going to bumble through another This Week in History as well. So we've got heaps of things to get through over this next hour. And joining me once again this week is my good friend Mark Lax. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Hello Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. What's new in the world of Mark Lax?
The world of Mark Lax. Not much going on in the world of Mark Lax. It's, same old, as usual.
Same old. Fair enough. So tonight, as I said, we've got heaps to get through, but we also want to thank our live listeners for tuning in and our live viewers for watching over this next hour. We really appreciate your company. And if you want to get involved in tonight's show, well, this is what you do. You simply can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or you can go to supermanhomepage.com/live, where you can press the call now button. Either way, you'll be put into the green room where you'll be able to watch the show and be able to hear what's going on before we bring you on to the show. We'll probably take some callers in the second half hour of tonight's program, so get involved that way. If you're a little bit shy and don't want to get on the phone or talk to us tonight live, then feel free to participate in the comments, both on Facebook and YouTube. Mark and I can keep an eye on what you're saying there and react to any questions or comments you might have. So feel free to get involved that way. If you are on YouTube, then feel free to post a super chat. There is a dollar symbol there on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, or when the slider appears on your screen, we will feature your comment or question live on the screen as we go along tonight. There are also super stickers and super thanks, so make sure you check those out. And if you want to get involved and help support the show, then feel free to click the join button below there on YouTube. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks, or you can go to patreon.com/Superman homepage and join the fine folks like Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, and C. Ralph Adler, who are sponsors and patrons of the show. It's a great way to make sure that we are able to continue bringing you Superman Homepage Live and to continue bringing all the great content that you're used to on supermanhomepage.com. And so make sure you get involved that way if you can. And tuning in live tonight, we've got JP, we've got Justin, we've got Capes, Tights and Lightsabers, Nostalgic Pod Blast, Kenneth, Facebook user, I don't know who that is, but you can share your name if you, I'll send you the link on how to do that. And we've also got Eric and many others joining in. Eric's from Chile, or Chile, as they say. So thank you to all our fans all around the world who are joining us tonight. We appreciate your being with us, and make sure you participate in the comments so we can let you know how you can get involved in the program and what you can do to be part of the show tonight. All right, that's all the introductions that we need. So let's get into tonight's topics, and let's start with some personal news on the Superman homepage. Some folks might remember a couple of weeks ago when Michael and I were doing the show, I mentioned that we had about 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which I was pretty happy with at the time. But since then, it's just boomed, and we've got now like 30,000 subscribers. We've just gained 16,000 subscribers since November. So that's been huge. That's been awesome. Really happy that people are finding the Superman homepage YouTube channel, which hopefully in turn will mean more people watching the show here. It has been mostly through our shorts. We've been posting heaps of little less than 1 minute short videos, and they've been getting heaps of traction. I was telling Mark off screen that one of them was a Superman 3 short about Superman saving little Ricky from the harvester machine. It got over 1 million views, and it's still getting views. So I don't know what was about that one, but that's impressive, and hopefully a lot of those people who are watching our shorts will watch some of our long form videos as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That really, I mean, first of all, doubling since you're talking about how many subscribers, doubling that, and then getting that 1 million view. That's great. Let's keep at it. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just try to keep growing the channel. And as Justin reminds us in the comments there, like and share, people. Let's get to it. We're live right now, so the best way to make YouTube and Facebook let everybody else know that this is a live stream that is gaining some viewers is to give us a thumbs up on any of the platforms you're watching on. So give us a like right now or a thumbs up. Comment, say hi, even if you're just lurking, you don't want to actually chat. Because we've got at the moment it's growing by the minute, by the second. We've got 24 viewers watching us live right now, and it's only just a couple of minutes in. But yet we've only got a handful of people like 10 people have given us a thumbs up. So give us a like, give us a comment. It all helps to make sure that it all continues to grow our channel and grow our viewership. So get involved in a simple thumbs up or a like on whatever platform you're on right now. All right, well, don't forget, next week we have a very special guest joining us on Superman Homepage Live. We have Mike Carlin, the editor extraordinaire from the 1990s on the Superman comic books. Mike will be joining us next week, and Michael Bailey will be interrupting his very busy schedule as he moves locations to find time to be part of that hour to co-host with me. Michael has interviewed Mike before on his own podcast, and Michael Bailey is a very, very knowledgeable person about that era of the Superman comic books, so it's only fitting that he would be here for that particular interview. So feel free to send any comments or questions, that you might have for next week's interview. You can email any questions you might have for Mike Carlin at the email address right there on the bottom of your screen, info@supermanhomepage.com. Send any questions you might have for Mike Carlin for next week's show to that email address, and I will try to incorporate them into our live interview next week when we interview Mike Carlin on Monday, February 12th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Phew, that's going to be fun.
Well, yeah. And I'd be safe to say that Mike Bailey is probably pretty much an expert or close to it for the 90s.
100%.
The 90s. I mean, come on, If you haven't listened to From Crisis to Crisis with he and Jeffrey, go listen to it.
100%.
They've been in a bit of a break for a while, but there are plenty of shows, and their Death of Superman coverage is the best you'll ever hear on podcasting.
Couldn't agree more. So well done. Bailey's, what is it? Bailey Podcast? I think is his tagline.
I think it's Fortress of
Baileytude. Fortress of Baileytude. Yeah, look it up. Michael Bailey, Fortress of Baileytude. And the From Crisis to Crisis podcast is an awesome coverage of that era of Superman. And as I said, we'll have Mike Carlin here as a special guest live on our show next week. So yeah, it'll be super fun. All right, so let's get into tonight's topics. Last week, we were thankful that the announcement of Milly Alcock's casting as Supergirl was announced just prior to our show last Monday night. So, and since then, we've had some pretty cool reactions in regards to Milly's casting. She herself took to social media and was very happy about being cast as Supergirl by James Gunn. She was on Instagram saying, "So excited to be part of the DC fam. Thank you so much to James Gunn for trusting me with Kara/Supergirl." And then James Gunn responded by saying, "Thank you for blessing us with your talent." So it's always cool to see when an actor goes online and actually is so thankful for winning a particular role and is super excited.
Definitely.
So, yeah. And then off the back of that, we had another Supergirl comment on the casting with Helen Slater posting this image on her Instagram account saying, "Congratulations to the luminous Milly Alcock. The next Supergirl DC Universe awaits you. You will be amazing. And then she's obviously shared there, passing the cape, honouring 40 years of the Woman of Tomorrow, showing all the actresses who have played a version of Supergirl across television and film.
Absolutely, and it will be 40 years of her Supergirl, I believe, come fall. I believe the movie came out in '84.
That's right.
If
So
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
this year is 40 years of Supergirl live action. Obviously, Supergirl's been a lot
Live action.
around. Yeah, she's been around a lot longer in the
Long
comic
time.
books. Yes.
Yes.
I think it was it Adventures of Superman 522 or 225? Something along those lines.
It was action comics, but I forget the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, 40 years of Supergirl in live action, and that's really cool of Helen Slater to welcome Milly Alcock in that way.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was surprised to see, because she did tag Melissa Benoist in that as well, and Laura Vandervoort and Sasha Calais. I didn't see any response from any of those. I'm not surprised Sasha Calais, there might be some sour grapes there, but I'm sure she wishes her well, even though she's probably disappointed. But yeah, I was surprised that Laura Vandervoort, who's usually, or has been pretty active on social media over the years, not respond there. Thank you to Kenneth Crowley Jr. in the comments. Yes, Action Comics 252 was... I knew there was 2s and 5s in there somewhere, but that was Supergirl's debut issue, a very famous cover there with Supergirl landing on Earth out of her rocket ship to her cousin's surprise. So thank you, Kenneth, for reminding us of that issue number. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what Milly Alcock brings to the role when we see her possibly in Superman Legacy. James Gunn has been saying, I don't know where this rumor is coming from. I think he's playing his cards a little bit close to his chest. But he's never actually said that Supergirl will appear in Superman Legacy. But as somebody else pointed out, I think one of the famous directors, I can't remember who, but it's very unusual that a main character is cast for a movie before the director has even been appointed. So we're talking about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. The fact that Milly Alcock has been cast in the lead role of that film before a director has even been appointed to that movie would lead me to believe that the reason she has been cast before a director has been included or incorporated is because James Gunn does plan to use her in Superman Legacy in some capacity.
Right, I didn't even think of that because she was named before they even named a director. Do we have screenwriters?
Yes,
I think
we do.
Yeah.
So we know that Anna Nagira, I think that's how her name is pronounced, is writing the script or has written the script for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. But no director has been announced. We don't know if there's anybody in talks in the background that just hasn't been announced yet. But the fact that, as I said, Milly Alcock has been cast before a director is on board for that movie leads me to believe that she will definitely be in Superman Legacy, regardless of James Gunn kind of playing, a little bit sheepish there.
Coy.
Yeah, a little bit coy with his with that actually happening or not. But as Justin says, probably be in the end credits, maybe a post-credit scene, something along those lines. I don't think she'll be a major member of the movie itself, the main story. It'll probably be something towards the end.
Certainly a cameo, I would think.
Yes, some cameo of some kind. Because as you've said in the past, there are plenty of other characters in Superman Legacy as it is already. Wait and see. So that's where we are with Supergirl in the live action films. But we do know, and the main story for this episode is the fact that John Murphy has been chosen by James Gunn to be the composer for Superman Legacy. The pair have worked together in many other films. I wasn't familiar with John Murphy's name, but then you look at his credits, and obviously he's done the Guardians of the Galaxy films, Suicide Squad, plenty of other credits to his name. But when you think of scores to films, none of those movies necessarily stand out as something memorable. There's no, I mean,
Um,
there's no necessarily a theme that you just go, yeah, that's, I remember that, and it kind of makes you feel positive or hopeful. I have no doubt that he's talented, and James Gunn obviously knows the people that he's working with very well. So yeah, interesting. I know a lot of people were going, bring John Williams back, even though the man is in his 90s, and he's still working. But yeah, interesting choice.
yeah, well, it would. It's kind of obvious that he probably would hire someone he's worked with before and
Mm.
worked with both in the Marvel and the DC world. Um, so I mean that makes sense. I'm not. I mean I've certainly seen some of those movies, and
Mm.
but like you said, nothing stands out. Um, but yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. He would pick him. Obviously, he's a great composer. For what he's done. So we'll see.
Question without notice. Do you
Yeah.
think we will hear the John Williams theme in Superman Legacy? People are saying that it's like James Bond's theme, that it's
Hmm.
synonymous with the character, regardless of which. We have seen it used with the Henry Cavill Superman in the Black Adam cameo at the end of that movie.
Right.
So it's not necessarily, I mean, I know Henry Cavill had his own theme for Man of Steel, written by Hans Zimmer, um, but and the John Williams theme is not exclusive to the Christopher Reeve films. It was used in cartoon openings.
Hmm.
It has been used in elsewhere. It was used in Smallville, the TV series. So, do you think we will hear the John Williams theme in Superman Legacy?
I do. I do because especially the way James Gunn is, he's certainly aiming towards a more I don't want to say Christopher Reeve friendly type of movie, but obviously he's going a much lighter route with this film than previous films we've had in the recent years. And it's Christopher Reeve being so iconic, and I definitely think somewhere in that movie we will hear some of the theme.
I would like to see it,
Yeah,
hear it, I should say,
definitely.
hear it, um, because as people have said, it's synonymous with the character. Now it's not just. I mean, they use it in stadiums when they're using music that want to inspire people. It's been used in Seinfeld episodes. It's
Mhm.
a theme that is synonymous with Superman, not just Christopher Reeve's Superman. So, and it's just iconic. I wouldn't mind. I don't necessarily want it to be throughout the whole film, like the only theme that we hear, but I definitely think we need
Right.
to get it somewhere along the line.
Well, it would be nice, like James Bond. You hear the music and you see the S coming towards you, and then it just kind of stops, and then we go to the movie and or the
Yep.
main theme. But no, yeah, it would be great somewhere in the movie, and I think we will hear
Mm,
part of
I hope so too. We'll wait and see.
the.
So congratulations to John Murphy on being selected for as the composer for Superman Legacy. Now, James Gunn also shared an interesting photo of the box of storyboards. Whoop, that's not the one I wanted. There they are. I count
Oh,
at
there.
least four, maybe six. I don't know if at the very bottom there are even more, but they are the multiple boxes containing hundreds of storyboard cards that he has personally drawn to visualize the planning for Superman Legacy, outlining the sequences of shots and scenes in the film. This is a blueprint for how they anticipate certain shots to be framed, the action that's happening in those shots. It's interesting that they're banded in certain um, collections
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
maybe there's certain beats of the film or certain sequences. There's some really chunky ones and some more thinner ones. And James Gunn does draw them himself. This is one of his storyboard from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where, as you see, he's got what's happening there and how, they're very rough sketches, but they just give the cinematographer an idea of, how they're framing it, whether it's close up, long shot, whatever, medium, whatever it might be, and what the movement is and that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. That's a lot to do. And considering for the most part, a lot of these directors, most of them all do storyboards, but it doesn't mean they're artists,
No,
and they're just
exactly.
so they're sketching out the best they can. And for like you said, a cinematographer and anyone else to take that and to make that into a scene, it that's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I mean they pin these up on like a pinboard,
Mm-hmm.
and show the flow of the scene and what's what they're anticipating. And for James Gunn himself, it's a visual reminder of what he was thinking at the time he was writing this, and so it kind of fills me with a lot of confidence that this amount of detail has already gone into something that they're going to be starting to film next month.
Yes. Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
just the fact that he showed how many so far anyway that there are. Yeah.
Indeed. So well done, James Gunn. Looking forward to seeing how that all transpires as we hear and learn more details um, as the months go on for the release of Superman Legacy, which will be next year in 2025. Looking forward to all the details as they come out without too many spoilers, hopefully.
Hmm.
All right, now we've been talking for a few weeks about the Christopher Reeve documentary Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival last month. And as we've been mentioning, it was met with amazing response as far as the fans who did and people who did get to see it. It was received really well, and there was a bidding war as to who would get the distribution rights for Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. We had heard that Netflix were in there trying to outbid Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers Discovery has successfully acquired the distribution rights. As we mentioned, it looks like it was around the $15 million mark for an exclusive deal for them to be able to, I believe, screen it first on CNN, which is owned by Warner Brothers, which is an interesting choice, being a documentary. That doesn't surprise me. And then it will stream
Hmm.
later on Max, and I imagine further down the track it will get distributed elsewhere, and then hopefully a home video release on Blu-ray and DVD. But exciting times that, and it kind of just feels right that Warner Brothers, who are obviously the owners of the Superman character, will be able to show this and distribute it as as they want.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Warner Brothers is Superman's home, and Christopher Reeve in and out of the Cape. He was a Superman, so it's extremely appropriate that they get the rights to it.
Yeah. So looking forward to
No,
hearing. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, it'd be nice if they did, release in some theaters at some point,
Very true.
but
Yeah. Why
yeah,
not?
and seeing and then being on Max, and it's going to get a lot of play. So
Mm. I
I'm
do
looking
hope.
forward to it.
I'm with you there. I hadn't even thought of that. We were just worrying about the release on TV and streaming services. I do hope does get a cinematic release that we do get to see it on the big screen, even if it's in a limited run. Um, if there were tears and cheers at the Sundance Film Festival, then it's a film that deserves to be seen with an audience, so that you do get that feeling of emotion that's coming from watching a movie with an audience with you, with a crowd. There's something to be said about watching it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't have to want to mingle with other people or sit in a dark theater, and I just want to do it in the comfort of my own home. But there is something to be said about watching something with an audience, because you get reactions, you get cheers, you get clapping that you feel idiot doing it at home, sitting on your own in your couch.
Well, you certainly can on your couch, but definitely, I mean, and something that I'm thinking inspirational and rousing as this probably is, to see it with other, I would say, Christopher Reeve fans and Superman fans, and
Mm,
just watch this with everyone in the room who's there for the same reason, and yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about being in a movie theater with a bunch of other people and just really just laughing and clapping, and
mm-hmm.
because you don't really get that anymore, not
Mm,
much. You don't
that's
really
true.
see that. I mean, especially since COVID, you definitely don't see that as much. And now with everything streaming, you miss that feeling, and it's a nice feeling to be in a room with all these people laughing and clapping and feeling the same way.
Exactly. So let's hope that that does happen. We'll wait and see, and we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear any details about the distribution of Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. All right, on the television side of things, as we get close to the half-hour mark of tonight's show, the Saturn Awards air or were held last night. The 51st annual Saturn Awards, February 4th, with the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films announcing the winners in an event that was held at the LA Marriott Burbank Airport Hotel. It was also live streamed on Electric Now. Superman and Lois was nominated for 3 awards. Sadly, Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch did not win Best Actors or Best Actress for their, which they were nominated for, but the TV series Superman and Lois did win the Best Television. What was it? Best Superhero Television Series. So congratulations to everyone involved, and Elizabeth Tulloch was there on hand at the 51st Saturn Awards to accept that award on behalf of the cast and crew of Superman and Lois. So Best Superhero Television Series, beating out Doom Patrol, The Flash, The Sandman, Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and Stargirl. So yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm thrilled about that because we get these nominations all the time with and Supergirl's nominated, Superman and Lois is nominated, and then they don't win anything. But winning Best Superhero that series, that's a big one. I would have loved to have seen Bitsy win for Best Actress because wow, did she deserve it
Mm.
last season? But no, I'm thrilled that it won Best Superhero TV Series.
For sure. Sadly, My Adventures with Superman, which was nominated for Best Animated Television Series or Special, did not win that award. That went to Star Wars The Bad Batch. However, Superman 1978 to 1987 4K collection from Warner Brothers Home Video did win the Best Film Home Media Collection award, winning out over a number of other collections, including the Universal Classic Monsters Volume 2, and the Warner Brothers 100th Anniversary 25 Film Collection, Volume 4. So that's awesome that that collection of Christopher Reeve films in 4K was successful in winning that award.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, a lot of their home video releases, for Superman the movie, well, for the whole franchise have been terrific. I mean,
Mm.
I loved, just when they did, I think it was the 75th anniversary with the tin box with the S, and I love that. And ever since then, they've really picked up the pace, and they've really done a lot of great releases.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the only other thing on the TV side of things that I want to make mention of is the fact that My Adventures with Superman will have a special screening in Atlanta, Georgia, at the SCAD or SCAD TV Fest on this Wednesday, February 7th. A special screening of My Adventures with Superman. It will also include a panel with actors Jack Quaid, who plays Superman, Alice Lee, who plays Lois, and Ishmael Sahid, who plays Jimmy, and co-showrunner and co-executive producer Jake Wyatt, as well as art director Jane Back. So the screening and panel will take place on the main stage at the SCAD Show Theatre, located at 1470 Spring Street. visit the SCTV Fest website for ticket availability. But that's an interesting one, and that will be an interesting panel if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, which I believe Michael was, but now he's moving.
Well, all these things happening now in Atlanta and somewhere in Georgia, and he's missing out. I'm sorry, Mike. But I'm assuming it's going to be. Would it just be the pilot, or be the whole series that they're going to be?
Probably not the whole series. That's 10 episodes.
Yeah, I would think that would be a lot.
It'd probably be the first 2 episodes. That kind of were the pilot opening. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that'll be interesting to be, or maybe it's the final 2 episodes. Who knows? But whatever they do, being at the panel alone would be an awesome experience. So, looking forward to seeing if there's any video of that panel that will be posted online after Wednesday. We'll keep you posted if we hear anything, or if you're in that area and you're attending. Let us know. Email us again, info@supermanhomepage.com. All right, we're over the halfway mark of tonight's show. We're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and then come back on the flip side to talk comic books. We're going to do the fan favorite segment, This Week in History, and we've got heaps of action figures news to get through as well. So stick with us. We'll be back right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/supermanhomepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Do you want to start a video podcast but don't know where to start? Or maybe you've been podcasting for a while but you're bored with the traditional audio-only format. Either way, I've got just the thing. Ecamm Live is the #1 choice for busy podcasters who want to easily create professional-looking video podcasts. But why? They're more engaging for your audience, and video keeps their attention, so they're more likely to stick around and become part of your community. Let me show you just how easy it is with Ecamm Live. You can drag and drop graphics right onto your show to make it more professional. And if you have a co-host or guests, bringing them onto your show is a breeze. You can even tweak the look of your guest video no matter where they are. And you can set up your scenes in advance, so when your show starts, you can play your intro and easily switch between your scenes during the show. So it really simplifies your workflow and eliminates the need for a bunch of editing. Plus, your isolated audio tracks are saved right onto your computer along with your high-quality video files. So there's no more waiting for a link to download your files. They're right there. And once you're done, you can upload it to your syndication platform. It's time to give your audience what they really want. So if you're ready to become a visual authority and take your podcast to the next level with video, join the Ecamm fam. Thousands of podcasters have already made the switch. We're just waiting on you.
Go to supermanhomepage.com/ecamm.
Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the battle of the Superpowers Collection. Can it be the Supermobile on the attack, the Lexor 7 armed with kryptonite? Will the Supermobile repel those deadly rays?
You bet. Ready for battle. Activate RAM.
New from Kenner's Superpowers Collection. Vehicles and figures with power action, each sold separately. Flying lessons for Penguin, fish bait for Luther. Can the Supermobile defeat the Lexor 7? You decide.
You decide. All right. So let's get into this week in history. Let me get my notes up and start with the intro.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
All right, so we jump through history this week, back in the day, every decade, and we go back. There was nothing in 1944 and nothing in 1954 this week for Superman fans. So we jump to 1964, where, have I got my correct? No, I've got to take that one off. There we go. We have Superman number 168, Luthor Superhero. So, we've got Lex being the superhero, using his X-ray vision to spot Superman. Wow. And everyone's
I think
clapping
that's
for
on his. Yeah, that's on his world, I believe. Lexor.
Maybe. And I don't know who Tom was, but he scribbled his name on the cover.
Yeah, I had a lot of old issues that I'd found that have people's names, scrawled on it or something.
So that was February 6th, 1964. We then jump to February 7th, 1974, where this issue of Justice League of America 111 came out. It included 3 stories: Balance of Power with the JLA, Attack of the Starbolt Warrior was another JLA, and in between there was the 7 Soldiers of Victory story, Beware the Black Star Shines. So Superman is on the cover there of that Justice League of America cover. Then we jump another decade to February 9th, 1984. This week, back in 1984, Superman number 395 was released. The Power and the People was the title of the story, written by Elliot S. Magan with pencils by Kurt Swan and inks by David Hunt. Can't go wrong with Magan and Swan.
No, I mean, a lot of people say things about the book around this time, all the books around this time of, the early 80s. But some of those stories were really good. And you got, like you said, Elliot S. Magan and Kurt Swan, just doing kind of his best at that point. Those are great books. If a lot of people haven't read those books, they can go back and find, I would say from the early 80s till just before the crisis. Some of those are ridiculous, but some of them are very good, are really good.
Very cool. Then we jump through to 1994. February 8th, 1994 saw the release of Superboy number 3. Remains of the Dead was the name of that particular story. Carl Kiesel, the writer, Tom Grummett, Doug Hazelwood. Awesome art team.
Definitely. I mean, wow, that's...
I don't know who that character is.
No, I don't.
Michael would know.
Michael probably would know. Whether it went on to be a famous character in a different way, I don't know. I don't think so. But when you got Kessel and Grummett and Hazelwood, that's the top of the line.
Exactly. That's the
especially for that era.
Yeah, that's the upper echelon of creators. Also that week, same day, February 8th, 1994, saw the release of Superman the Man of Steel number 32, Love and Death. A very famous cover, Bizarro's World storyline continuing here. And even the title of the cover is back to front.
Yes, that's be great too if the triangle number was backwards, but then that would confuse everybody really. So.
Well, the S is underneath the triangle number, but Louise Simonson, the writer on this one, with pens by John Bogdanov and inks by Dennis Yankee. So another awesome team. Then we jump forward to 2004, where in February 2004 we saw the release of Action Comics 812. This is a cover and a series I remember well. I use this often when we're talking about Superman vehicles, whether it be cars, motorbikes, what have you. This always comes to mind because this was an interesting story where Superman wore a really different costume. Because if I remember, he was in Candor at the time.
Yeah, trying to think back. Yeah, I mean, it was that. I don't remember. I do remember the story, but I can't remember the exact details.
So yeah, really interesting cover there. And then jumping ahead to 2014, Justice League 3000 number 3 was out this week back in 2014, only 10 years ago. Keith Giffen and J. Mark DeMatteis, the writers on that one, with Howard Porter, the artist.
And you can't go wrong with that team either. Justice League 3000 wasn't a bad book. Wasn't some of their best work, but no, you can't go bad with that team. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And then also that same week in 2014, we saw the release of Justice League of America number 12. Tick, Tick, Tick was the title of the story. And this one with pencils by Eddie Barrows and Thomas Derenick, and written by Mark Kint. Don't remember too much about that one.
Not read that. I remember Forever Evil being a thing, but
yeah, definitely remember the Forever Evil series. And then also in 2014, we saw Smallville Alien number 3. Alien Part 3 was the story there, and this was, I think we mentioned this last time we came up with one of these. Was it a digital first series?
I believe it was, yes, digital first. And they did, obviously they did the paper run after.
Yeah,
it was.
That's right.
It was a digital first.
And then also that same week, February 12th, 2014, saw Superboy number 24. I didn't read this series at the time, but
I have not read one issue of this series at all.
Nope.
So under my radar. I got into the New 52 a little bit later on. I just had no interest in this title.
Yeah, for sure. Me neither. Also that same week was Superman Wonder Woman number 5. Reflections was the story in that one. And you've got there on the cover, Feora, with the torn Superman cape and Wonder Woman's sword there. So her name means death.
I think we may have mentioned this last week, but this actually was a good book, and Charles Stoll. This was a good book. I'd recommend going back and rereading this.
For sure. There you go. So that was the comic book side of the world of Superman. But this week in the real world, let's see, we've got Jack Larson, who played Jimmy Olsen in the Adventures of Superman TV series, and obviously cameoed in other things like Superman Returns, Lois and Clark. He was born February 8th, and I'm just getting my exact dates. So Jack Larson was born February 8th in 1928. So that's Jack Larson's birthday. May he rest in peace. Also, this week, February 8th, is the birthday of John Williams, obviously the composer of Superman the movie. We were talking about him earlier. He was born in New York in 1932. So as I said, the man is approaching his 100th birthday. So happy birthday to John Williams for this week. Then also this week, Bruce Timm, who is born tomorrow, February 6th, 1961, obviously behind the animation style of Superman the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, and awesome guy. He was born 1961, February 6th. So there you have it. That was this week in history.
Very good.
Hopefully I did.
You're making Mike proud.
Sorry, what was that?
You're making Mike proud.
Oh, yeah, so hopefully. So that was this week in history. Got through it relatively unscathed. So, yes, let's jump into the fan favourite segment, which we have plenty of responses for. right, Mark, what was our question from the fan favorite question from last week?
Who is your favorite Perry White actor?
All right, so who did we have up
Yeah.
first?
Yes, we have Lynn SM, who wrote Great Shades of Elvis. Of course, Lane Smith is my favorite Perry White.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Yes, Lane Smith is one of the awesome Perry Whites of all time. So thank you, Lynn, for that entry. We also had JP Rocha write in saying, my favourite Perry White actor is John Hamilton from Adventures of Superman, Great Caesar's Ghost.
Yep. And then we had Hector Lopez, who wrote, my favorite Perry White is Daryl Brown in My Adventures with Superman. The rest are okay. Okay.
Well, that's awesome to see an entry for the My Adventures with Superman Perry White. Yeah, he does a great job. I love the interaction that this Perry White has with the interns.
Yeah.
The frustrations that he has, especially with Lois, is really a cool part of that series. So thank you, Hector.
Definitely.
Elliot Quadrado, sorry if I mispronounced your name. My favourite Perry White actor will always be Lane Smith. As far as I'm concerned, he was born to play that role and he played it tremendously well on Lois and Clark. He was strict but fair and always believed in Clark and Lois's work ethic, as well as the rest of the staff at the Daily Planet. Thank you, Elliot. Yeah, another vote for Lane Smith, and great to see some names that we haven't heard of or heard from before in the fan favourite segment of our show.
And we had Kirby Lindell, who wrote, my favorite actor who played Perry White has got to be John Hamilton. I still think the Adventures of Superman first 2 seasons are the best of any Superman TV show ever. I can't really argue with that. And John Hamilton was the perfect Perry White. To see a master class watch The Drums of Death and The Evil 3 from season 1 and the great episode Great Caesar's Ghost. I especially love the dynamic between him and Jack Larson as Jimmy Olsen. He was perfect as rough editor of the Daily Planet.
Yeah, I think that John Hamilton kind of set the bar and the tone for how Perry White should be portrayed for everyone coming after him. I think he created that kind of persona for Perry White. And I know that there was an actor before him in the serials,
Right.
and his name is on the tip of my tongue, but it's just kind of eluding me at the moment. But I think John Hamilton's version was what set the tone for how others should portray Perry after him. So thank you, Kirby. That was very cool. Next up, we had Jeremy Crawford, and Jeremy wrote Lane Smith because he was hilarious and an Elvis fan like me. Great shades of Elvis. Yes, thank you very much, Jeremy. Good to hear from you.
And Kenny Crowley Jr. wrote, my favorite actor to play Perry White, without question, was Jackie Cooper in the Donnerverse Christopher Reeve Superman films from 1978 to 1987. Jackie, not only by the time he got the role of Perry, was a legendary actor, going back to the late 1930s, early 1940s, in the golden age of Hollywood, but he brought a sense of tough newspaper editor, but respected his employees. And with him chomping on a cigar, he captured the look of Perry White from the comics. Thanks, Steve, and everyone at the Superman homepage, and keep up the super amazing work.
Thank you, Kenny. Very well thought out answer there. And yes, very iconic image there of Jackie Cooper, who was a child actor in Hollywood back in the golden era. All right, next up we have Lorenzo Valdez, who says, my favorite Perry White is Lawrence Fishburne in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. He projects so much intelligence, integrity, and competence, and he's always very funny and witty. He's the version of Perry White for whom I would most want to work were I a Daily Planet employee. Moments like his water wet line are his back and forth with Lois insisting that she fly coach are so entertaining. You get the sense that he cares really deeply about Lois and his other employees, despite his at times gruff demeanor. There you go, a vote for Lawrence Fishburne.
There you go. And Christopher Pugsley wrote, my favorite Perry White actor is John Hamilton from The Adventures of Superman. John Hamilton played the role as Perry White very well. Also, when he shouts, don't call me Chief, at Jimmy Olsen, Jack Larson.
Yeah, that's another iconic line. And again, I think that was from him. We've continued on that don't call me Chief thing throughout the years. So Definitely John Hamilton getting a lot of great votes. Then Ryan Ignatius Pratt wrote in saying, my favourite Perry White actor would be Lane Smith from Lois and Clark. I love the tough gravitas and he brought to the role, mixed in with a dash of humour and hidden parental-like concern for Clark, Lois and Jimmy. And it's funny that we get in throughout all these comments and responses a very similar feel for why they like the certain actors, because of, while he's gruff, he's also fair and loving, and the humour, and so that's come across in most of the people that we've heard from.
Oh, absolutely. The character himself, in general, even in the comics and all that, for the most part, showed how much he cared and really loved for his his employees. So it would make sense that these actors really carried it through, and if a couple, were phenomenal, if you ask me. But
indeed, and so cool to get 10 responses for this week's question. So thank you to everyone who responded to the fan favorite segment of our show. Mark, what is our new question for this coming week?
Our new question is, who is your favorite police officer in any Superman medium?
Yeah, we've had a few, from the comics to the TV shows to the movies. Get involved with the fan favorite segment of our show. The email address is on the bottom of your screen right now, info@supermanhomepage.com. We might not get onto these next week because we have an interview with Mike Carlin. We'll see how we go, but when we get to do the fan favorite segment again next, either next week or the week after, we will read out your responses to that question. So get involved in the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, we move on to the world of comic books and looking at what's coming out this week. Here is what you have to look forward to if you are a fan of the comic book side of Superman. And we have this week a couple of new comics. We've got Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville number 6. Not that we're reviewing that, but we are being complete here on the Superman homepage. Anything that happens inside Superman's world, and this being set in Smallville, is something you might want to check out. Also this week, one that we are reviewing, Kneel Before Zod number 2, comes out this week, and that is available in a couple of different variant covers right there. Superman 78, The Metal Curtain number 4 is out this week with some awesome variant covers. I love that one there, and this one is the background behind me tonight. And then
I love that.
Yeah, also out this week is Night Terror's hardcover, Dawn of DC. So that's what's out this week if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah, not too
Mark,
bad.
You've reviewed Superman 78, The Metal Curtain number 4. That review will go up on our website Tuesday morning, so make sure you check that out when it goes up. We've also reviewed Kneel Before Zod. That'll also go up at the same time. So any previews as to your thoughts on Superman 78, The Metal Curtain number 4?
Well, it's no pun intended, but it's action in this issue. It's very good. It seemed to be a kind of an issue that's kind of taking place just to get ready for the next few issues, kind of the finale, that sort of thing. But it's a really good issue. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent. So make sure you check that out when you get a chance tomorrow. All right, let's move on to the action figure side of the world of Superman. Some merchandise coming out this week. Entertainment Earth are now taking pre-orders for the Mafex action figure Superboy. I'm just getting the image up here for you right now. There he is, the Return of Superman Superboy Mafex action figure. This is a 6.5 inch tall figure that comes with 3 interchangeable heads. Also comes with a removable leather-like fabric jacket and a posable figure stand. Interchangeable hands are also included. What do we think of this one?
I like it. I like this one. I'm not a connoisseur on action figures, but I think this captures the look of the original, the '90s version of Superboy.
Yeah. So this is available. It says I think maybe that's a typo. Surely it's got to be just $9.99. Can't be $99.99. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, I have to double check let me quickly click on the link to see just how much that figure is. It says $99.99. It can't be $100 for this action figure, surely. Wow.
Wow, $100. I mean, it looks really good. Like I said, different heads and all that, but wow, $100. That's a lot.
That is a lot. I know at 6.5 inches tall. But anyway, so yeah, if you got a cool $100 in your back pocket, you might want to pick up the Superboy action figure. Again, use the link on our website. Also, McFarlane Toys are taking pre-orders for their Wave 7 of their DC Superpowers range of action figures and toys. A Superman Gold Edition 40th anniversary action figure is included in Wave 7. This is a 4.5-inch scale action figure. There's 6 figures in the case, and Gold Superman is one of those figures, which is a pretty cool looking retro style figure.
Yeah, it is. I don't know the cape, the way it's bunched up by the neck. It's just a Batman as well. It just, I don't know if I love that, but it's kind of a cool look.
Yeah. So there you go. And also from McFarlane Toys, but available through Entertainment Earth via a link at our website, is the DC Superpowers Wave 7 Brainiac 4.5-inch scale action figure, and with the pink uniform from the 80s. This has a nostalgic feel to it, features approximately 5 points of articulation, comes packaged in iconic Superpowers blister packaging with artwork and logos reflecting your favorite character. And there's also a Brainiac skull ship, which is a separate purchase. And McFarlane Toys has an exclusive different gold label version with a different version of Brainiac included,
with
the
90s,
little goatee from the 90s. Yeah, so, and it's a purple and green version of that. So that is some pretty cool action figures available out now for pre-order. And again, when you go to the Superman homepage and you use the links on our website, we get some kickbacks at no extra cost to you, so it's a great way to make sure you support the Superman homepage. So yeah, some pretty cool action figures. Also, if you're out in Atlanta, Georgia, or in Virginia, there's some local conventions that you might want to attend. The ATL Comic Convention in Atlanta is on from February 9th to February 11th. Michael Cutlitz, George Newbern, and Nolan North will be in attendance across all 3 days. Or if you're in the Roanoke, Virginia area, Big Lick Comic Con is on from February 10th and February 11th. John Beatty, Christopher Priest, and Keith Williams will be in attendance across both days. So make sure you get to those. And that's pretty much all we have time for tonight's episode of Superman Homepage Live. I want to thank everyone for joining us over the past hour, spending your time with us. We appreciate your company. Thank you so much to my co-host, Mark Lax. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Steve.
And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Tina Murray, and C. Ralph Adler. Thank you for your support. So don't forget, next week, Mike Carlin is our special guest. I will be joined with Michael Bailey to host that interview. We'll be doing that on Monday, February 12th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you check that out and join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Mark Lax. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.